Good morning, my fellow dirty gardeners. I'm Irene the Dirty Dragon, and it is now February, which is Hellebore season. Woohoo! I personally, of course, look forward to the color that this brings at this time of the year because it's so gray and brown. So I'm just going to go over a few things to show you guys ways to make sure that your hellebores are looking good. I'll go find some hellebores. Okay, here we have a super nice example of a really skookum hellebore. Very healthy, very strong. It's one of the simpler ones that you can get at Home Depot. I think it's pink, ice and roses or something like that. And tons of buds. The leaves are looking good. These guys here they don't require much. Maybe just remove some of the tattier leaves from lower down. Yeah, they're totally fine, but some of the other kinds that I have do not look so sharp at this time of the year, so I'm going to show you those guys and show you what I do to make sure that they look good. If yours looks like good, if yours looks good like this, just tidy it up a little bit, give it a tiny haircut, and leave it. Here's another one. This also looks pretty healthy, actually. It's just been flattened because of the snowfall that we had, but it's got a whole bunch of nice, healthy buds. If the leaves are flattened and that bugs you, you can cut them off. That's not going to damage the plant at all. One thing that it does do, if you do cut off the leaves, which I tend to do with most of my hellebores, is that it just it showcases the flowers a lot more because they come up nice and straight, and they're not obscured by the leaves at all. One thing I'll note here too, because it's under a maple tree, all these maple leaves here, while they're really good for winter cover, around now is a good time to remove them because there are some hellebores that are very susceptible to fungus. Oops. Anyway, I was going to do that anyway. So yeah, it's a benefit if you clear away anything that's around the crown and around the leaves and around the flowers. It makes it look nicer as well, of course, because it's standing up. I mean, if you've got mulch, just put a bit of fresh mulch around the bottom if you want or whatever. But yeah, so you can cut off the leaves if they look like this if you want, and remove any dead stuff. Hellebores in general are not fond of being surrounded by a lot of other plants, again because a lot of them are susceptible to fungal infection, and they like a lot of airflow, kind of like roses, imagine that. So yeah, so clear away all the crap that's around them at this time of the year. Genki hellebore here. This guy is a yellow flowering one, and there's the buds coming up right there. Every single year I've had trouble with it getting fungal infection like this. So I cut off all the leaves for sure every year, and I also, oh nice, some little prims in there. How pretty. I also spray all around the base and the flower stalks with an antifungal so that each year it does seem to be making progress. Because the first couple years I had it, it was all the flowers were kind of going black. That doesn't belong in there. One of these things is not like the other. Somebody's been fucking around. Anyway, yeah. So just cut if you've got hellebores like this that are problems, cut them all back every single year. Spray all around there as much as you can with an antifungal. Go to the to the nursery and get a good antifungal. Don't just spray like freaking neem oil or some shit like that. Like, just really do it properly. And if you see any of the flowers or new leaves coming up and they start to show any kind of spots or infection like this, then spray them as well or cut them off. And it should get better over time. One thing, though, that I've noticed, I've got some fancier ones. I'm going to just go over here. I've got some fancier ones. They're like, they're not really blooming yet, of course, but they're like sunset colors and like doubles and fancy designs and painted and so forth, painted designs. And they have been like super hybridized, like tons and tons of selective breeding. And the more away from the species they get, the more weak I find they are. Just like think inbreeding, right? And so they lose a lot of the characteristics of the species for strength and resistance to disease in favor of the flowers. So again, like all these leaves are just absolute crap, so I'm going to cut them off and I'm going to spray it with an antifungal. And these, like there's a whole bunch of stuff growing around these ones that I'm going to pull away too, so that they have optimal airflow. And then that should, it's going to be a matter of maintenance for these ones to make sure that every year they come back looking the best they can. But I think that because of their breeding, they're always going to be like this. So keep an eye on those ones. If you're buying the ones from Home Depot or whatever, those are pretty strong and skookum. They're going to be, you know, putting on a show every year for you. If you're buying the ones that are fancier from like Fraser Thimble Farm or Phoenix Perennials in Vancouver, then you're probably going to end up having to maintain them a bit more. Okay, nice little short blurb today. Just a little bit of information about Hellebores. 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 Yeah, I mean, I usually cut most of mine back because I just feel like it shows off the plants a bit better, the flowers a little bit better, and it does actually prevent any kind of fungal problems. It may slow down bug problems as well. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. Good luck with your Hellebores. Peace out.